Hey there, welcome back to another episode of Coffee Corner. Today is your episode. I have no idea because I haven't done this for a while and I've already lost the track of what episode we're on now. So probably 75, I guess. So we'll figure out when I'm editing this video. Anyway, my apology, and I kind of like unplugged myself from social media, and not really. I mean, I'm still on social media, but definitely not very active. The reason is that I've been back to school teaching, unfortunately. So I have to commute every day, 5 hours teaching, come back home tired, and just don't want to do anything. But fortunate part is I'm teaching online, so that's really funny. So I have to go to school physically, but I teach virtual classes, 3 hours online, nonstop with all the technology stuff. I just feel like it's very exhausting to set up a whole thing and do episodes or do this again. Anyway, so and the funny thing is, I actually use my phone to do this at school for like 3 4 times. But this year I'm on the lower level with a lot of students and teachers, and they're so nice to me. They always stop by, say hi, and kind of want to chat. So I had to stop my video and start to chat and lost my idea and all sorts of things. So I still have some footage on my phone, but I'm not going to use it anyway. I wanted to talk about the one thing that got inspired by my student or by my class. It was awkward social situation. I started to talk about that, and then I feel like not really something I wanted to talk about. And then I was thinking about talking about something like you don't have to be good at everything just because I been through that, and I realized you just can't be good at everything. And I feel like that might be a very short topic to do, so I just really don't know what to talk about. And then kind of lost interest in doing specific topic for a podcast because my primary goal or my original goal of setting this up is to just practice my English. And then to the point I feel like everybody's interested. Then I started to do something fancy or something more uh, educational or informative. Then it becomes a little bit dry for me, or I don't know if it's for you too. If people want to learn something, there are millions of channels. They do better job, way better job than I'm doing right here. So I just feel like if I'm not doing something I like, why am I doing this? And anyway, so I kind of want to switch back to the chatting mode. So I'll just talk about random things and my life. Maybe not my life. I'm a pretty private person, so I don't know if I will feel comfortable talking about my life. Anyway, so other things that I thought it would be interesting to share with you guys, or more like share that with me. So when I listen to this podcast or this video, then I feel like, I had that moment too. So anyway, so what I was thinking about for this episode, I was like, I had a class with my students talking about awkward social situation. The funny thing is, we were talking about something else, education, different education system, things like that. There's a student, he was a pharmacist back to his country, so of course he has to study the similar thing here, but in English to pass the bar and then become a pharmacist in Canada. And then apparently he didn't like it, so he said that's not really fair for people who have so many years of education in medicine, in medical school or something like that, because we just don't have that many years to do that again. I said, wow, fair enough, when he mentioned that. But the thing is, as as a as a average citizen here, I want my pharmacist to be responsible and know what he's doing, and I want my doctors to know what they're doing there. So apparently, if you study you study the content in English, you can better serve your client or patients. But then he argued, saying something like, you know the content is same or something else. Well, I don't know about anything. I don't know anything about medical stuff, so I can't really tell. But that's when people get panicked. When they panic, they assume that might be the situation. So I said one thing there. I said, well, even if the content or the subject or whatever is same, but you might not be taught in English. You might have been taught in your own language, and then that's why you're here. You're learning everything in English, so you know how to use it to make a conversation with your patient or something. And then I think I offended one student from the same country. She basically typed in her message saying that those kind of things are teaching English, not in Arabic. Exclamation mark! Exclamation mark! Exclamation mark! I was like, oh, okay, wow, just everybody calm down. I didn't mean to offend anybody. I just assume that might be the situation, but apparently, when you assume, you have that kind of unconscious bias, right? So, oh wow, they're from not English speaking countries. So of course, a lot of things that they learn are not in English. But that's when I made a mistake. I felt awkward, but they were very nice. They were like, I just wanted to make it clear. Maybe I used the wrong way to say that. Then we both apologized to each other. But then also, I felt like next time, if I don't know, I just don't know. The thing is that being here for so long, I kind of had that mindset. I just assume that, you're here to learn English. Of course, back to your country, you might not have like this whole environment of learning everything in English, like completely. So that brought me back to my colleague. We went to a conference, and she said the same thing. She was working, and she was in charge of hiring people. So she was working, and one person came and talked to her with an accent, and then she just assumed that person was an ESL student. And then she just asked, oh yeah, the class is over there. And then she was mad. She said, well, I'm not ESL student. I'm a new staff here. And then she said, oh, sorry, now I remember you. Oh, I'm so sorry. But that's when we were sharing our thoughts about unconscious bias. Like, have you ever had the moment you just assume that person is like that? I've been thinking about that a lot because there's some people I don't really particularly like them for many reasons. So it could be I've heard uh, stories about that person from someone else, and then in my mind, and then I would be like, oh, she's that kind of person until I could talk to her and then realize, oh, she's totally different, and I wanted to be friend with her. And some people are more like their work styles or other things just we're not very compatible, and then I feel like she's not a good person to hang out with. But then realize that, well, I might jump to conclusion too fast at that point. So now I have to really remind myself that sometimes you just need to calm down and have some neutral thought first. Don't 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 judge too fast. I would say that don't judge too fast until you really know that person. Otherwise, you can just be acquaintances with anyone. You don't have to be friends with everybody. But the thing is, you can't just make your assumption, right? So that's what I learned from that thing last week, ironically. And another thing was, um, and I mentioned that you don't have to be good at everything. The reason I had that thought is I used to be like, if people say you're not good at this, then now I will really work hard to make myself good at that. And I want to be good at everything. So I can tell people, as a woman, as a girl, I'm very capable of everything. Just dump all the tasks on me. But now I realize that, wow, maybe because I'm getting older, and I realize that you just can't. You just have to admit and realize you can't be good at everything, but you can be good at some things, right? So just make sure if this is your job, you're good at that, you do that well. If that is not your job and you're not good at that, that's totally fine. It doesn't have to be, oh, because she's good at that, so I have to be good at that too. Um, And then that happens a lot when we're talking about uh, buying things or, kind of polish ourselves. Sometimes it's not about what we want. Sometimes it's about what other people have, and you want to have the same thing or even better version of it. So, and then I really forgot what kind of things triggered me. And I had this thought, but I was like, you know what? If I were at like 2-3 years ago, I might as well work really hard to get it done. But now I realized, that is okay. It's okay to not be good at that and do it. Okay job, so job, or even terrible job. But that moment, once I realized at that moment, I felt so relieved. I think I've been working too hard or not. Anyway, but then I had that thought. Uh, I have been procrastinating a lot. There's a major thing I really need to get it done before deadline, but of course, I have been avoiding that by cooking a lot, doing other things to distract myself, and especially I kind of want. There are a few times I have wonderful ideas about doing a video, and then as soon as I thought, oh, I had to set up everything, then I kind of lost ideas, lost the desire. I'm like, I'm not gonna do that. Anyway, so sometimes because now I have you guys as my friends, and you very supportive, and then I just don't kind of want to let people down. But also that pressure is right there. Like you feel like you have to bring up some solid stuff. Like you have to have a better at least you have to have some good quality of your video. You just don't want to set up your camera and then start to talk random shit. That's definitely not what I want, because you want people to listen to you. You gotta say something, right? Not just nonsense. But anyway, that is a quick. I hope it's a quick. That is kind of a quick video um about nothing, but I'm trying to stay alive, stay active. So, I'm still here. I'm not giving up my channel and this content. I still need it for a lot of things. And again, if you really want to practice, I said this, I'm not a English learning channel. I'm just an English channel, right? But if you do want to practice, this is a really, really good way to practice. I've noticed that how confident I am with other people. Doesn't matter if native or non-native speakers. I feel more comfortable saying yes, no, and I feel more comfortable not saying anything. I don't feel like I have to, be there and then say something so I exist. But now, I hang out with my friends or hang out with my colleagues, whatever they say, I always have a ability to kind of catch up with the topic or continue with the thing, or even be very brave to say no, I don't want to do it, or things like that. Because at that moment, I know language barrier is not a problem anymore. It's just language is a tool of communication. That's it. So as soon as you realize that, your confidence level is kind of going up. How do you get that? You have to be good at this. Or what I mean being good at this is not like you have to have perfect accent, perfect pronunciation or grammar. Is you have to be good at speaking. By that, I mean you need to speak. You need to get comfortable with speaking. That's it. You need to get comfortable with your mistakes, or you need to get comfortable that you have to constantly correct yourself while talking. That is totally fine. I'm like people, I still have grammar mistakes, or sometimes I make silly mistakes. Nobody cares. And I found that when nobody cares, then I don't really care, and then my confidence is out there. So that's all you need to do. If you're really shy like me or something like that, or not even like me, you just don't like talk to people, this is definitely a good way to practice. And another thing is, you probably noticed that I only have a Q&A in part one. That is really funny. I feel like the Q&A thing is a trap I set for myself. I said, oh yeah, I'm definitely going to do a good job at Q&A. And I realized, yeah, I don't really like it, because it's not like I don't like it. I have too much to say, too much to share. Especially, you guys ask very, very awesome questions. So I want to be that kind of person that I bring you the answer with the examples, not just simply say yes, no, yeah, it's good or not. Because a lot of questions are kind of complicated. Then that means I can't fit one video in 50 minutes or 20 minutes. It might be like in an hour to do in a Q&A to just fully answer all the questions. But nowadays everybody wants to be like, you're just gonna have to go, 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 go. You can't really do a super long video, and then otherwise people would lost patience. Then back to my thought is, I'm doing this for what other people think, or I'm doing this for what I want. If it's for what I want, I shouldn't care how long the video should be, or how am I gonna attract more audience. But then if that is not goal, then I should do part 2 and really answer that well. But then part of me feel like, oh no, you know what, if you're gonna do that, then you won't attract your audience. But anyway, so very conflicting. I will try my best. I promise you I will finish part 2, but I will find time to do that. Yep. And that's pretty much everything for today. So no topic. And I kind of like this style. I might speak a little bit too fast today just because I finally find my groove and I want to do well. And I feel like I'm chatting with friends. So without formal setup, I feel definitely more about myself. Anyway, I hope you like it and hope you're still with me. If you like this video, don't forget to give a thumbs up. And also don't forget to subscribe. And if you like to listen to my content, of course, you can find me on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, wherever you can find your podcasts. And also I am on 喜马拉雅小宇宙, so you can find me there too. So that's pretty much everything. Bye. Take care.